We also wanted to take an opportunity to introduce somebody who's new in the Hutto community, our new Hutto EDC president, Mr. Chase. So Tim Chase, if you could stand up, and everybody just give him a warm Hutto welcome. So he's been on the job a week, so we expect some movement. That's right. I mean, come on. And then we also want to take an opportunity to introduce our new members, give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves to the chamber. So if this is your first luncheon since becoming a chamber member, then we invite you to come up to the front and just take 10, 15 seconds to introduce yourselves. Do we have anybody that hasn't had an opportunity to do that who's new today? Come on up. Sorry, I waited until everybody was chewing. Did you get a big bite?
Truthfully, it's my second luncheon, but first time to speak. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul DeBernardini. I'm a new member of the chamber. I represent C&D Signs and Printing. We're a full-service commercial sign company out of Austin, and I'll be serving the Williamson County area. Looking forward to earning your business or anyone you know. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Paul. And then, Judy, talk to us about our ambassadors. We could clap so you wouldn't have to run, but I guess.
Okay. Today I get to introduce you to the Ambassador of the Month. He's not here today, so everybody wave at the camera. Hi, Ehab. Our Ambassador of the Month is Ehab Kawar, and he moved into Hutto in 2014 and works as the Business Development Financial Analyst to Kind Health Holdings, Inc., a local insurance agency dedicated to changing the way people think and feel about their health and health benefits. He's been a member of the Hutto Chamber of Commerce since June 2014. Thanks to the help and guidance of the wonderful chamber staff, Ehab was instantly immersed into the Hutto culture. In September, he began Leadership Hutto and graduated in May 2015. In October, he helped sponsor Old Time Days, and in December, he was appointed to represent the city of Hutto on the Williamson County and City's Board of Health. By March of 2015, he was appointed vice chair of the board. After graduating Leadership Hutto, he became a chamber ambassador. Ehab is a family man who enjoys spending time with his family, enjoys jazz music, a good slice of pizza, who doesn't, and a good nap. He and his wife, Lisa, have 3 children and loves living in Hutto, Texas. Congratulations, Ehab. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy, and thank you to all of our ambassadors. If you are an ambassador with the chamber, could you just stand up? And these are the folks who, do we have any ambassadors with us today? There we go, come on. Don't be shy. I know that there's some of you in the room. But these really are the folks. Obviously, we would love to have more ambassadors who are here to be that first line of contact with new businesses in Hutto. So we would encourage you, if that's something that you've been interested in, getting to know those businesses better, please reach out to Emily and she can help get you into that program, or to Judy. So, and then the last note before we hear from our sponsor and then our speaker is on your tables you have just a rundown of the next events that are upcoming. And so it asks that you take a moment to take a peek at those, enter those onto your calendar. One deadline that is fast approaching is Leadership Hutto applications. Those are due August 20th. So if that's a program that you're interested in participating in, I would encourage you to get that application in sooner than later. And then also you'll notice on Friday the 14th, that's this Friday, we are celebrating and sprucing up Hutto's Hippos, and then later in the month you'll notice the networking after hours that's taking place with one of our members at Grandpa Bo's Bargains. So just encourage you to take a look at all those events coming up, and then of course next month's breakfast will be here before we know it. And so next we will take a moment to hear from Ty Gibson with the Minuteman Press, who is today's sponsor.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for allowing us to sponsor today. It's a great venue. I'm glad be out here, and I couldn't ask to do partner with anybody better than Mr. Garrett. I'm glad to be here with him, and I'd like to hear what he has to say today. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press. We opened in August of '06 in Georgetown, 3 of us, and we have slowly grown, and today we've up to 21 employees. We have a full staff of designers. We have people that can take a job from the beginning to the end, everything from promotional products, as you see, and if you didn't get anything, there's plenty of stuff back there. We don't want to take any of it back, so please pick up stuff. Promotional products to help promote your company, to small business cards up to large signs. Over the time that we've grown, we've started picking up niches, and a lot of the things that we do is we go into facilities and we will wrap walls and stadium. Athletics is kind of our big niche that we've really grown into. In fact, you're going to see Hutto High School change here probably in the next 2 weeks. We're coming in with a lot of stuff at Hutto. You'll see a lot of changes there. But we do that all over the state, and that's kind of our niche, but we really focus on our local business too. And so we have Jim Wilson. Jim, if you'll stand up. Jim is our local rep, and if you've seen Jim, he's all over the place. But we'd love to come see you, find out what your needs are and your printing needs, signs needs, whatever it may be, and we'll be glad to handle it. Again, we want to keep it as a one-stop shop. We've got printing to signage, so we can kind of work with you from a logo design all the way up to anything else that you may need. But once again, Jim, if you want to say a few words real quick, I just want you guys to know Jim, because he's really the one that's going to be here in the area.
Well, you're a hard act to follow. Our business is really built on relationships. If you know Ty, that's what it's all about. We've got a lot of stories we could tell about John and Ty here. I think they went to school together. We won't get into that today. But anyway, we're here to serve you, and glad to work with you. Big staff, we've grown, but we're here to take from a very small business to a large business. So call us if you need us, and we'll be glad to come visit with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we'll move on to the introduction of our speaker. So John Garrett, a Pflugerville native, he earned his degree from Sam Houston State University. Yeah, do y'all have any, like, bear, cat, whatever it is that you feel the need to do? And began his newspaper career at the Houston Chronicle. He became the advertising director at the Austin Business Journal in 2002 and helped turn the publication into one of the top-performing American city business journals. While at the Austin Business Journal, John decided to create a hyper-local, direct mail monthly publication with free distribution to everyone. In September 2005, Community Impact Newspaper launched in Round Rock and Pflugerville. Currently, there are 20 multi-city editions of Community Impact Newspaper. The papers are mailed to more than 1.5 million households and businesses in the Austin, Houston, and Dallas-Fort Worth metro areas. More Texans receive a Community Impact Newspaper than any other publication in the state. In 2014, for the fifth time, JG Media made the Inc. 5000 list of the fastest-growing private companies in America. John and his wife, Jennifer, have 3 daughters and live in Round Rock. Active in the Central Texas community, John is the vice chair of the Regional Mobility for the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce and serves on several community boards and nonprofit organizations. He was named the best CEO of 2013 for small business by the Austin Business Journal and his staff. You like that? Brownie points? Okay. And the 2010 Concordia University Excellence in Leadership honoree, and the 2010 Sam Houston State University Distinguished Young Alumnus. If you'll join me in welcoming Mr. John Garrett.
Thank you very much. It's really an honor to be here today, and it's truly an honor to get introduced by Amy, who I always joke with her at the office because she's taken the paper that I started to way new heights. She's an amazing leader, and I'm really proud of her, and it's an honor to work with her. I'm glad to be here today. I really wanted a hope. My hope is today that I do one of two things for you. Either I contribute very little to you, and you think, well, wow, at least that's a nice guy, and that's a neat company, and they're doing a good job. That's the minimum I hope I accomplish. But I always believe that sometimes there's people in the room that need to hear what I have to say, because I know that I've been in your shoes before, and I've heard from so many speakers that have contributed to who I am and who we are as a company. Too many to really to give credit to. And so I'm hoping and I believe that somebody in this room might be able to hear something from me that maybe help you spur your business along, much as other folks have definitely helped me. As Amy said, my wife and I are both from Pflugerville, and has anybody in this room lived here before or lived here during around 2004, 2005? If you have, raise your hand if you were here 2004, 2005. Actually, maybe easier. Who wasn't here between 2004 and 2005? Okay, cool. So the start of the paper is in that area and in that time frame. My wife and I both raised in Pflugerville schools, went to Houston. We wanted to come back to Austin like everybody in the world does, right? And we got back here, and I worked at the Business Journal, but we lived north. And back then, the Business Journal viewed Williamson County as kind of like cowboys with money. There's a lot of land, but the development wasn't here yet. We had, La Frontera was out here, but really a lot of the development you see today wasn't quite here yet. And so the Austin, Travis County folks, they knew it was coming, but they didn't really kind of respect what was going on. And you saw that in the media, we didn't really have any idea what was happening around us, and that's really where the start of the newspaper came to be. This is what 45 and 130 looked like back in 2005. This was actually the photo that we published on our very first issue of Community Impact newspaper. And the crazy thing is back then, we got the Round Rock Leader, we got the Pflugerville flag, right? But we didn't have kids. And so we didn't care about Johnny kicking the winning field goal, right? We really wanted to know, where is the nearest Starbucks going to be built? That's all we wanted. Is Pflugerville ever going to get a Starbucks? Those are the questions we wanted to know. And plus, as I was going to downtown Austin, I was driving this road every day. This is old Louis Henna Boulevard, right? And I would get on that road and I would drive all the way across to here. We get on the old Mopac, or I don't even know what it's called now, but it used to take you all the way down, and it was basically 2 lanes each way. It was terrible. And so everybody who worked in downtown Austin all we wanted to know was, when was this stupid thing going to be built, and how much was it going to cost, right, for us to take the roads? And most of the media didn't really cover that. Like, they covered the debate about toll roads, like, should cities have toll roads, and should TxDOT fund toll roads? And everybody who lived here knew it didn't matter. It looked like Stonehenge out there. It was being built. The debate didn't matter anymore. We really wanted to know. And so the very first issue of Community Impact newspaper came out in 2005. We mailed 60,000 copies. This is me as a kid. That's my wife, Jennifer. This is my sister-in-law, Michelle. And this is Kathy Kincaid. Y'all may know her. She's our founding editor, who just recently retired. Patty and Mandy, they were the first kind of employees. But we were in the game room of our house. We started this thing. And I was so many memories that come to my mind when I try to talk about this. But we knew that it was needed. And I had read a book by a guy named Andy Stanley, who's a Christian author. He wrote a book called Visioneering. And the thing that got me, it's a book about Nehemiah and why, how in the world did he build the wall? Nehemiah was a cupbearer. Like, for him to even talk to the king was risking his life. Like, he was doing all these things to risk his life, right? But what was it about this idea, this vision that Nehemiah had, that made him want to pursue it? And it was this idea that it wasn't nice to have the wall. Like, it wouldn't be a nice, beautiful thing to look at to have the wall. In his view, it had to be. Right? It wasn't just nice to be, it had to be. And that was really my approach to this business. When I left the Business Journal, I quit one of the best jobs in Austin. Honestly, I had one of the best business jobs. This is before, it was awesome. And to quit that job took a lot of, obviously, faith, but also courage, but also this idea that it had to be. Right? I didn't feel like it was right that all this development was happening around us and no one knew what was happening in our backyard. We deserve to know this stuff. And before, at the Business Journal, we used to say, hey, the insiders, right? The reason we used to sell ads at the Business Journal is because this is true. We used to say that the insiders read the Business Journal, right? Because they want to know what's happening so they can go make money, right? That was our sales pitch. Well, we wanted to turn that whole thing on its head, because we believe that everyone deserves to know what's happening in their own backyard. I've spoken at events like this, and I've actually had people come up to me and say that they almost bought a house, right? Because the realtor said, hey, that open field behind you is, farmland, the farmer's never going to develop or whatever. They opened up a community impact newspaper. That's where one of the arterial A was going to go through their backyard. And so she just wanted to thank me that we told her this stuff. Well, I really believe that and this happens and it still happens, but the farmers who own this land out here and, all the folks that worked generations to build up this land equity, they literally would have somebody show up at their door, in a nice suit and give them a couple of dollars per square foot when it's worth $10 a square foot, right? They literally were stealing the farm. I mean, it's business, but the whole point is that the developer knew something that this farmer didn't. And we just believe that everyone deserved to know, regardless of your income, regardless of your education. That's why we mailed it to everybody. Now, when we started it, we had advertisers that were like, dude, I just want to reach those that make over $200,000, live a $300,000 plus house, right? You can target messaging that way. But we didn't do that. We believed, the idea was at the time IKEA was being built, we dreamed, we saw that there would be a single mom that lived in the apartments near IKEA who needed a job, who can't afford $300 a month for a subscription to the Statesman, right? Or $300 a year for a subscription, that she deserved to know this information too, and she needed to know it. But where would she find it? Like, how would she know? Right? That was where the idea, the vision behind Community Impact came, and that was this idea that it had to be, okay? It wasn't just nice, but it had to be. And we were a hit. The first issue went out. Back then, we had those little caller ID boxes. We were in the game of our house. We really didn't even have an answering machine. This is like, I think voicemail for your phone was like $6 a month, and we couldn't afford that, right? So we had only a caller ID box, and the day it went out, it was crazy. We had, I was calling every number, to find out like if these were people who wanted to advertise with us or not, and it was amazing. We had a great reception, and about every 6 months, we started a new paper. So we started Leander Cedar Park. We found that area wanted us too. And there's no way, and believe me, I'm here from Pflugerville. If anybody in this room had known me, and Ty did, there's no way that I would know that 2015, this is what we would look like. We have 1.5 million total distribution. You see Austin, we've got 8 papers covering Austin. We've got 8 papers now covering Houston, and we've got 4 up in the DFW Metroplex. And we have 150 employees now, not all at that facility, but we've got a beautiful facility. We've got about 70 folks that office there, and it's been a really amazing journey. So my first thing I want to tell you is that, if you're approaching a new business, like the best advice I can give you is does it have to be? Like whatever it is, if it's an ice cream shop that you want to open up because you feel like that the people aren't being served well, like think about your business and think about what you want to do, or think about what you do now, and think about the products that you serve and who you serve, and think, what is it about what I do that has to be, right? Like customer service, quality product, whatever it is. There's got to be something that you're doing that has to be. All right, so this is a fun image for me. This is what a city council meeting looks like, apparently. Now, this is just from the web. Like, I Googled city council meeting, and this is the image that came up, right? And what are they doing here? They're looking at documents. This is like boring stuff. Well, we've got 2 of our folks here that know well. We've got 2, Scott and Emily, who are editor and reporter of our paper here. They go to these a lot, so they definitely recognize this. And it's boring stuff, right? While the rest of the media is doing this, right? They're covering this. This is exciting. This gets page views. This is very exciting. This is what we're doing, right? And it's really amazing to me because of our building. I've had to go to some city council meetings in Pflugerville, and we're the only media there. Like, we're the only ones there, and that's just amazing to me. No one else is there. And so either they're watching from home, which might be happening, it's video or whatever. Either they're watching from home, which is okay. Not our strategy, but it's okay. Or they're not paying attention. Instead, they're paying attention to this thing, right? We're hoping that they're paying attention, because I think all media coverage is really important. But our folks are there, and they go till 1 o'clock. When the people go to executive session, they listen, and they're paying attention. Why? Because they care about the stuff that they're discussing. It's about development, because it impacts us all. Transportation impacts us all. Taxes impacts us all. Local business decisions impact us all. This is the stuff that we believe really makes a difference. Megan, this thing is going to be gone tomorrow, right? But what we talk about when we lay a new road that impacts landowners, impacts citizens, this is stuff that is generational, we believe. So that's why we spend our time there. And that's why we're in the middle of this minutia, reporting it with smart reporters We don't freelance reporters out to go to the Cedar Park City Council meeting. These are our staff reporters, and it's expensive to do that. But we do it. We hire it because we believe that this is really important, and I think this makes a big difference, obviously, in our readership. This is our business philosophy, okay? So this is our secret sauce part of it, right? And I've shown this like for 10 years and no one's copied us yet, so I feel okay sharing it with y'all. But this is the idea. I actually took this idea actually from the Business Journal. A guy up in the Dallas Business Journal kind of came up with this. But it's the idea that everything starts with content, right? If you have really quality content, right, you'll do well. Because if you have good content that's relevant to the user, then they're going to read it, right? It doesn't matter if you're doing it online or if you're doing it in paper. It's not like people hate paper. It's convenient on our phones, right? So that's why we're doing it that way. We believe that if we do quality content and we make it convenient for you, we deliver it to your mailbox in a quality way that you'll read it, and you do. And that's what the data says. And if you read it, then we will get advertisers because, again, they don't care if it's a blimp that they put their name on or if it's a sponsorship on a TV. They just want eyeballs. They want to grow their business. They want to get their name out there. And so if we're doing a good job here, they're going to do this. Now, this is where the business broke down for the newspaper industry in the late 2000s, or late 1990s, 2000s, is that they stopped reinvesting in content. They did. Craigslist did not kill newspapers, okay? It didn't. It was definitely a big part of it, but the problem was that as revenues went down, or as the Hearst brothers or whatever were making their money, they weren't investing in content. What we have found, and this has played out to be true, is that the more we invest in content, the more reporters we hire, the more designers we hire, the more quality content we put together, the bigger the triangle gets. And the bigger the triangle gets, the more readers you get, right? The more advertisers you get, the more content you put back in there, right? The triangle gets bigger. And we actually tell our editorial team, when our dollars are going down in a market, like, don't blame the recession, blame your content. Like, that's a different world. Like, it's never the editor's fault in most dailies. It's never the reporter's fault. It's not the stuff they're writing about. It's Craigslist, or it's the readers are stupid, right? We believe that if our readership's going down, our sales are going down, we look at the content. And we make the reporters ask the tough question: are they doing what they're supposed to be doing in terms of content and making it relevant and useful to others? Obviously, design's a big play of who we are. We have, I think, one of the most beautiful, I'll show that in a minute, papers in the country. And certainly our new website is, I think, the future of news. I really do. And I got a photo of that in a minute, too. But this is our business philosophy. And so a few years ago, we came up with a mission statement that really nails who we are, and that's the second piece of advice I'd just like to give you. First of all, know what you're doing is important and it has to be, but the second piece of advice is to really know who you are and what you do. Okay? Don't try to be somebody you're not. Don't try to be, covering the crazy. For us, it's not covering the crazy stuff that's happening out there. It's covering being focused on what we do. And we came up with a mission statement. This is the best mission statement that we could have ever written, and this was our reporters and editors a few years ago. They came together and did this. And the mission statement is that we want to build communities of informed citizens and thriving businesses through the collaboration of a passionate team. I mean, when I tell my staff, when we get new people in, I always do an orientation. I love this. I mean, if you can't get excited about this, then you definitely need to find another job. This is not the place for you. Because what better thing to do? We believe it's a moral authority to inform citizens. We believe that wholeheartedly. Like, everyone deserves to know what's happening in their own backyard. We also know that people love local businesses and they want to shop local businesses. They want to know about them. When we started back in 2005 in Pflugerville, they were building a super Walmart there off 685, and all the local businesses were scared. And part of my thinking is that if we could write a business profile, right, the ones we do in our paper that aren't paid for, like you can't buy a profile, but when we do a local business profile, we tell people what's happening in that store, like, they're more interested in going there. The reason why we go to Walmart and Target is because, man, we know aisle 4 has this, this, and this. We know what to expect. But how many businesses do we drive by every day? We're like, I wonder what that's about. Maybe it's got a product that we want or whatever, but we never go in there because we don't know about it. Well, we want our paper to be a window to that for the readers so that they can thrive. Obviously, thriving includes advertising. We believe we're the best marketing vehicle in the city, in the state, and we think we help a lot of businesses with that as well. And the collaboration of a passionate team, man, if you just come by our office and you see the collaboration that happens there, birds of a feather flock together. And we have incredible birds. Like, they are amazing, and they work really hard together. They're very passionate about what they do, and they do an unbelievable job. I'm really proud of that. So we're really clear about what we're doing. We're clear about our mission. There's our paper and our new website. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's communityimpact.com. It's really cool. So secondly, make sure that you know what you're doing, know what you're about, and do it well. The third thing I really want to tell you is kind of thinking outside the box about how you move about going about business. You always want to think outside the box. Know who you are, but think outside the box. There's a lot of things that you probably do in your businesses and your practices that somebody else taught you or that you learned from, but maybe there's a better way, and we have learned that so well these last few years as a company. These are our stones. They're our values. That comes from the old David and Goliath story. The idea is that David wasn't scared of the Goliath because he was a shepherd and he knew what he could do with stones. Like, he wasn't scared. He had the faith to be approach the Goliath. And the question we asked our employees was, when our Goliath approaches, which at the time we were talking about Belo and Gannett and Hearst, these giant media companies, when they approach to attack us, are we going to be ready? Are we going to be like David and be ready for that and be able to take them down, right? Well, now it's probably, there's those giants have kind of faded away and we're just kind of hanging out, and doing what we're doing. But that was the idea. When a giant approaches, what are we going to do about it? The first stone is our faith. We believe we're here to accomplish something great. Like, we're not just about newspaper on ink. We're about the mission, right? Informing citizens and helping local businesses thrive. Passion is a big part. Hopefully you can see that with me. We really are passionate about what we do. We want to serve each other, our advertisers and our readers, with passion. Quality, excellence is our minimum standard. Like, we mean that. Everything we do has got to be high quality. It's something that you'll be really proud of. Innovation, we achieve success by looking beyond traditional practices. Man, we take these old, like, we got newspaper people. The Tony Barron, who runs our Dallas division, is from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. She was burnt out, beat down, old men's club stuff, right? She runs our division up there, and she's an amazing, amazing leader. And I'll tell you, like, she learned a lot of really good stuff at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that we've asked her to bring along to help us innovate. But she also had a lot of really bad stuff that she learned that we've asked her to leave it alone. Like, we don't want any of that stuff with us, right? But we're always looking, when we hire new people, we're always saying, hey, we believe that you have skills and experiences and ideas that we've never thought of. We want you to share them with us, and we want to continue to innovate. That's how we do it. That's how we're best at doing that. And obviously, integrity. We're uncompromising in our ethics and values, and we say this like this is not like just something that you would just slap. We like really mean it. Like, when we tell everybody in our company that if there's anything that's going on from an integrity standpoint, think about, you got content and advertising. You got a lot of integrity stuff that has to happen there, right? If a reporter feels like there's any lack of integrity in that, they feel pressure from their boss to write about an advertiser or whatever, we are telling them they have to tell. We need them to tell us. And if they go up the flagpole, right? They have an open door. They go all the way to me. Then they go up the flagpole and they feel like, hey, this company, you're still not answering this integrity question. Then my advice to them is to quit. Because you can't work for a company that doesn't have integrity, period. So if you go all the way up the line and, you feel like you're not getting this integrity question answered, we want to make sure that you understand that you shouldn't be at any company that does that. And we really mean that, and we live it out the best we can, knowing that we're all humans and we make mistakes. We try to hold each other accountable to that. All right, so innovation, we're building a printing press. It's 2015, and they're out there moving dirt right now, actually, we're waiting on the city to do some stuff, but there's dirt out there. And but we've got this building that's coming. We're really excited about it. So this is part of the idea of thinking outside the box of what you're doing. And sometimes challenges that you face are really opportunities. And I was telling Ty this earlier, that we had a huge challenge face us this year. I don't want to go into all the specifics, but we have all of our printing through one printer, right? And they came to us with a big rate increase, and so then I was like, okay, that helped me realize we had all of our eggs in one basket, right? And so we went and we shopped around, and we found out there was really only one other company that could do our job. It's a very complicated job, and so we decided to call it, and long story short, we just decided to build our own press. We were big enough, and we did the business plan, and it made sense for us to build our own facility. We're bringing in unbelievable equipment. This is not, everyone's like, hey, are you buying the Statesman's equipment? I'm like, no, that's like from 1945. No way. This is brand new, amazing stuff that what they say, and Tyler will appreciate this, what they say is it's actually, these web presses are actually competitive on 1,000 print runs or less from a digital standpoint, which is amazing we're a web press, which is, big rolls of paper and that kind of thing. And so these are amazing presses that are really going to help us do more versioning. So the dream is that in Hutto, your front page is only Hutto news, right? you still get the regional stuff that you care about with Round Rock and Pflugerville, all that stuff, but these presses will allow us to be even more targeted and more relevant to the reader. And so an opportunity came because of a mistake, in my opinion, that our current provider did to us, and it's turned out to be an opportunity for us. And I've lost my picture, but I think I just had one more slide. It was just kind of the cool inside of the press. It's no big deal, but anyways, I just wanted to close to say, hopefully you hear something in me that will help you spur along your business. And I'm right down the road in Pflugerville. I'm always open to if you have questions or anything like that. I'm always happy to help if I can. And but really, ultimately, I really believe that everyone in this room has an opportunity to do something really great. And it may be at your current employer and just being a light to all the employees around you and doing really well and coming up with a creative a new process for your company. It may be your own business where you're just like, hey, wait a minute, like maybe I am a little bit off track of what I'm really good at. Maybe I need to focus in more and work on what I'm good at. But mostly, the most important thing, guys, is that God has only given us, how many days, right? We don't know how long we have on this earth. And I really believe that if we focus on the idea that we are here to accomplish something great and that it has to be like in our families, in our work, in our relationships with others, if we really focus on what has to be instead of what, kind of be nice to have, or like maybe some of the bad part of this stuff, if we don't focus on that stuff, then I think we'll all live more rich lives and more meaningful lives. So